A little over a year ago, I made a video testing out 16 different pairs of comfort-focused shoes. Everything from barefoot trainers to squishy running shoes, even sandals. You should go watch that video because none of those shoes will appear in this one. Ironically, about halfway through working on this video, I broke my foot in jiu-jitsu. Luckily, I already had plenty of B-roll because now the only shoe that will fit on my right foot is this boot. But even before this injury, I was dealing with nagging foot pain for the last few years. And I've gone down the rabbit hole of foot pain and anatomy and shoe construction. I've talked to multiple podiatrists. I've visited all kinds of shoe stores, from high-end running shops that analyze your gait to orthotic retailers that cater to a more geriatric crowd. I kind of love those shops, actually. If you have foot pain, diagnosing your problem and figuring out what kind of shoes you need is actually kind of tricky. I could make a whole video about that process, and maybe I will, but in this video, I just want to show you a bunch of comfort-focused, foot-friendly brands that I've discovered and tested out over the past few months, and I'll also share my top picks. Generally, here's what I look for in a shoe. I like a wide toe box, plenty of cushion, low heel-to-toe drop, and some stability built in. I prefer neutral colors that work with any outfit. I'll put my shoe size and actual foot dimensions up on the screen here for your reference. Two more quick things. Sometimes for videos like this, when I'm including a bunch of products, I will reach out to brands asking for samples just to keep my cost down. For the brands that participated, thank you very much. Also, this video is sponsored by Arcade, who makes some of my favorite belts. I will talk more about them in a bit. Okay, let's get started with the OG comfy shoe brand, New Balance. I fell in love with New Balance after buying a pair of their legendary 990 V6. I actually made a whole video about those shoes. You can go watch it. Naturally, I figured this brand might have other models that also worked for me. I tried on a few and I found that the 860 was the best fit. These are kind of like the stability version of New Balance's best-selling 1080s, which is a high cushion neutral running shoe. I like the 860s because I overpronate a little bit, which means I roll my foot inwards as I take a step. By the way, if you're not sure whether or not you do this, go to any running store. They'll be able to analyze your gait. Most people over or under pronate a little bit. It's totally natural, but it can cause pain. Hence the need for a stability shoe. These have rigid materials built into the midsole that help counteract that rolling in or out. For example, that little piece of plastic that you sometimes see on the inside or outside of the midfoot, that's called a medial post. It's added to our shoes for stability. The 860s have this sort of stability built in, you just can't see it. They also have plenty of cushion with New Balance's Fresh Foam X and a moderate heel-to-toe drop of 8 millimeters. These 860s are sort of a rare combination of soft and stable, which are two attributes that sometimes can be at odds with each other. So they're really comfy. They're like the perfect shoe for my feet. They run slightly narrow. I find that an 8 wide works best for me. I don't like the color selection, especially in the wide sizes. To me, just regular black or white would be the best options given what's available. I tend to gravitate toward lighter footwear, hence all white. These don't look cool, but they're very comfortable, and I think they work well enough with casual outfits. Speaking of comfort, we got to talk about today's sponsor, Arcade. If you saw my video, 23 small things you should buy, you already know why Arcade belts are so amazing. But if you're just hearing about this brand for the first time, here's the deal. Arcade basically created the performance belt category. Their adventure belts have been adored by outdoor enthusiasts, hikers, and travelers since 2010. These days, Arcade also makes lifestyle belts like the Momentum. Don't get me wrong, leather belts are fine, but they can be a bit heavy and stiff, like some sort of medieval hula hoop. The Momentum is the opposite of that. It's super lightweight. It's made from this perforated webbing that actually stretches with you. The buckle is micro adjustable, so there are no holes, there are no guessing, just your exact fit. It's low profile, so it won't jab you in the stomach when you bend over to tie your shoes or tighten your boot. Plus, it's made from 85% recycled materials, so you can feel a tiny bit better about yourself every time you wear it. Oh, and it's machine washable. Like, you can just leave it on your pants when you throw them in the washing machine. And because it's metal free, you won't have to strip for TSA in the airport. I dress pretty casually these days, but I still like to look put together. At the same time, I need my clothes and my accessories to be able to take a beating. Arcade belts, especially the Momentum, check all the right boxes. They're just right for my active dad who hasn't given up on style yet fits. So if you need a new belt, you can grab the Momentum belt from arcadebelts.com. Or get the lifestyle belt kit with the Momentum and the Motion and save a little cash. Links down below in the description and a pinned comment. Thank you again to Arcade for supporting the channel. Okay, let's look at the Asics 1130. I've tried a few pairs of Asics in the past. I really like their sport style collection. These are sort of retro inspired lifestyle shoes. Like, they're not really made for actual runners, but they're great for everyday casual wear. And in my opinion, they look a lot better than most actual running shoes. Now, the problem with these sport style shoes, and this is true for a lot of brands, is they rarely come in wider sizes. So if you want more room in the toe box, you're kind of out of luck. For me, a lot of Asics' coolest looking sneakers like the Gel NYCs, the Kayano 14s, and the 2160s just felt too tight. But the 1130s in size 8 medium, they work well, maybe due to the more flexible upper. I've worn these a lot. They're much easier to style than most of the other shoes on this list. They're a bit less chunky than the New Balances, for example, and I think that makes them more wearable. But you can tell that they're not as durable. I mean, compared to something like the 990 V6, which I have way more miles on, these are getting pretty beat up. I feel like they've lost a lot of that cushion and support kind of quickly. I did replace the default insole with these ones from Move, just kind of like a squishy insole, and it has helped to make these shoes more comfortable and kind of extend their lifespan. Granted, I've put a lot of miles on these, but I haven't even owned them for a whole year. Now, if I was going to walk around New York City for 10 miles, I don't know if I would choose these over my New Balances. But for daily wear to the office and back, they're great. I mean, they're just really easy to pair with the kind of outfits that I put together. I'll definitely pick up another pair of these, especially since they're available in a ton of different colors. They're always on sale. I got this pair for $80 at some random shop at the mall, but you can find them online too, links below. Asics GT-2013. Since I liked the 1130s, I wanted to see what the top of the line Asics stability shoe felt like. This is sort of their version of the New Balance 860. Lots of cushion and support. These run long and narrow, so I tried the size 8 medium, but it was unnecessarily long and also too tight. So, as I often do, I went a half size down to 7.5 and one width up. So the 7.5 wide worked a lot better. These were actually really comfy. I didn't end up keeping them just because at this point I have a lot of good options and I didn't love the way these looked. I've never really liked wearing black sneakers. If I could find this exact size in a different color like tan or some sort of off-white, I'd probably grab them. Hoka Gaviota 5. I kind of slept on Hoka for a long time because they just seemed so chunky, and to be honest, I didn't love the styling. But after 2 different podiatrists recommended the brand, I decided I had to try them. I tried a bunch of different models, including their best-selling Arahi, but I found that the Gaviota, which is Hoka's high cushion stability shoe, worked better for me. They actually remind me a lot of my old Brooks Adrenaline GTS 23s. By the way, I'll show you the GTS 24s later on in the video. But they have the same high volume toe box, tapered midfoot, and snug heel, which I love. They're really plush, like the collar and the tongue just have a lot of padding. It's a very comfortable shoe. They are pretty chunky looking, especially on my thin legs. Let's face it, I have the kind of ankles that most women can only dream about. But I found that wearing taller socks, which happens to be cool right now, sort of helps ease the transition between these blocky sneakers and my skinny legs. Also, I don't hate this color, and kudos to Hoka for offering wider sizes in a bunch of different colors. I've been wearing these a lot, and I would definitely consider Hoka again in the future. Okay, the next brand is... You know what that sound means. It's time for our troll of the week. Okay, this week's segment is brought to you by Comment Cannon, an AI-powered keyboard shortcut tool that auto-generates grammatically incorrect insults and all caps rants for maximum efficiency. Use the code Peaked in High School for 10% off an annual membership. Okay, today's comment comes to us courtesy of Maddie T43, who commented on my Levi's trucker jacket review saying, "Bro built like a 14-year-old. Well, there's an element of truth to that. Let's go to the judges. 8 out of 10. Fair play, Maddie. Never change, my friend. Thank you again to Comment Cannon for their support. Back to the video. The next brand is Brooks. I have 3 pairs of Brooks to show you. And full disclosure, this is one of the brands that sent a few samples. But I've been buying Brooks for many years now, starting with the Ghost, which was my go-to running shoe for a long time. Then I switched to the Adrenaline GTS 23. This GTS 24 is the new version for this year. I actually think they look pretty cool. Brooks has definitely stepped up their aesthetic over the past year or two. They still make a bunch of brightly colored, loud running shoes, but they also have a lot of retro-inspired designs and neutral colors that work really well as lifestyle shoes. One thing I don't love about the new GTS 24s is they run a bit small compared to the prior generation, so short and narrow. If I got these again, I'd probably go with an 8.5 wide. They don't make this color in wide sizes, so I'd probably go with the white-black Pelican colorway instead. These are okay with thin socks, and I think they will break in a bit more, but these 8 mediums do feel a little snug out of the box. The Ghost Max is a high cushion neutral shoe. This special edition version is more of a lifestyle shoe. It's made from leather and suede. I really like the colors in this collection. They're all pretty nice looking, including this monochromatic stone oak limited edition. This is a really plush shoe. The tongue and the collar are both super thick, probably the most padded ankle of any sneaker I've ever tried on. It's really comfortable. They have a 6mm drop, which is pretty flat compared to many Brooks Brooks models. The size 8.5 fits me okay, but if a wide was available, I would definitely take it. And that's just to ensure that there'd be enough room in the toe box no matter what kind of socks I'm wearing. When in doubt, I think it's always better to size up. These have a straighter silhouette than like the Hokas, but they're no less chunky. So I think they work best with taller socks like quarter crews or even crew socks pulled down a little bit. But if I wear these with ankle socks and shorts, at least on my build, they feel a little bit blocky. These special edition Glycerine 22s don't have any laces. Just a snug, stretchy collar that you pull your foot through. It makes getting them on and off quick and easy, and they feel surprisingly secure on my feet. The Glycerine is a high cushion neutral running shoe. You can definitely feel the midsole absorbing your weight with each step. I probably wouldn't choose all black for myself, but this is the pair they sent, so it's the pair I tested. This color is almost sold out at the time of writing, so I guess a lot of people like it. Kind of makes sense. All black is easy to wear. Given the choice, I would go with the lighter cream color. Either way, you're getting a soft, comfy, slip-on running shoe that would be great for walking, running, service jobs that have you on your feet all day, or travel, especially through airports. Vionic. This is a brand I've seen a few times at those orthotic-friendly, podiatrist-approved shoe shops. I've also heard about them on Reddit, but I never test drove them until recently. I tried 3 models from Vionic. They all have the APMA, or American Podiatrist Seal of Approval, the Thompson loafer slip-on in 7.5 wide, the Walk Max lace-up sneaker, also 7.5 wide, and the Rejuvenate Recovery Slide in 7.5. The loafers are actually really comfortable. I could probably even wear a 7.5 medium or maybe a 7 wide, but these will work with thicker socks too, which makes them more of like a 4-season shoe. I don't normally like white soles on loafers unless the upper is also a light color like this tan. I think that's a nice combo. Now, do these look as good as something similar from like Suit Supply or Meerman or Allen Edmonds? No. But these are way more comfortable. They have a nice insole with arch support and plenty of room in the toe box. And I like these because as comfortable as running shoes are, I don't want to wear running shoes with like chinos and a button up when I'm taking my wife out to dinner. These are perfect for that kind of get up, sort of smart casual. To be honest, I didn't have high expectations for these, but I was pleasantly surprised. The Walk Max lace-up sneaker, also in a 7.5 wide, is also pretty comfy. They run long. I could definitely wear a 7 wide, but this is the Vionic 7.5 versus an Asics 8. I actually think they look pretty good for what they are, a podiatrist-approved walking shoe. I don't compare a brand like this to Nike or Adidas, but compared to similar brands, like brands that really market themselves as good for plantar fasciitis and other ailments of the foot, I think these look pretty good. The branding is subtle, it's totally inoffensive. The one thing I don't like about these is the tongue. It doesn't have any padding and the laces come right up to the top of it. I'm sure some people prefer this style of tongue. For me, I like one that's slightly longer and that has more cushion. Finally, the Rejuvenate Recovery Slide in 7.5. These are great. We have hard tile floors throughout our house, so I'm pretty much always wearing some sort of house slipper. For the past year or so, the Crocs that I featured in part 1 of this series have been my go-to, but I think these slides are maybe more comfortable. They're definitely easier to get on and off. With the Crocs, my foot kind of slides around a little bit unless I'm wearing really thick socks, but with these you can adjust the Velcro strap to make them more snug as needed. They also have cushion and arch support, but they're pretty expensive for a pair of slides. Either way, if you do have any sort of foot pain, I recommend getting something that you can wear around the house, either slides or house slippers. Try to avoid walking barefoot on really hard surfaces. Bedrock Sandals. This is a brand that I kept seeing recommended all around Reddit, mostly for their barefoot style sandals. Barefoot shoes don't really work for me, and I have tried them, but Bedrock also makes some less minimalist options like their Mountain Clog and their Cairn Evo C sandal. I had my eye on the Mountain Clog as an alternative to the Birkenstock Boston, which I never really found very comfortable. After seeing them out in the wild a couple of times, always worn by people much cooler than myself, I bought a pair. I have somewhat mixed feelings about them. I like the shape and the clever adjustment system, and in a Gorpcore kind of way, I think they look pretty cool. But they're pretty hard, you know, they're kind of like a Chaco. They wear you, you don't wear them. Not a whole lot of cushioning on here. These run short and wide, so for me, a size 8 works well, but I wouldn't want to go any smaller. The Cairn Evo C is the newer version of their popular thong style sandal. This one has more cushioning. I've seen them recommended as a good alternative for people who find Chacos to be too hard. And after putting a few miles on these bad boys, I agree. They're more like Tivos than Chacos, but they feel more durable, kind of better built than the Tivo Universal. The thong style won't be for everybody. You have to be okay with this strap between your toes. It doesn't really bother me. These are size 7. I could probably wear a size 8, but I usually opt for less extra space in front of my toes when I'm wearing sandals. A 7.5 would be perfect, but these don't come in half sizes. The strap system is very clever. After you get the toe and heel straps where you need them, you only need to use this one pull strap to get the sandals on and off. All in all, I like Bedrock as a brand. I think they're doing some cool things, and from what I can tell, their footwear is made to last. Treadlab's Redway sandal, size 8. This is another somewhat under the radar brand that seems to be growing in popularity lately. I've seen them in stores, and they seem to be selling very well. Treadlabs was actually founded by Mark Pagan, I think that's how you pronounce it, the same guy who founded Chaco, which is one of the most popular sandal makers in the world. His new company started out making orthotic insoles before venturing into actual footwear. So there's some real pedigree to this brand. It's not just some random startup white labeling sandals from a Chinese factory. These Redways are sort of like a lighter, less chunky, slightly softer version of the Chaco Z Clouds. They're not as squishy as a Tiva Original or the Bedrock Cairn Evo Cs, but compared to your standard Chaco, they do have a bit more give under your foot. The strap system is simple with adjustability over the toes and the ankle, but not the heel. I like the system because it makes taking this sandal on and off very easy with only minor adjustments to this one strap. They have moderate arch support. It's not too aggressive, which is good for me. I have higher arches, but I still find really aggressive arch support to be kind of annoying. These are narrower than many sandals that you're going to find at like REI, so I think they're a bit more wearable as a lifestyle shoe versus something that you would wear only hiking or camping. The color selection is a bit limited at this point, but what they do offer is neutral and inoffensive. I'd happily wear any of these colors. All of this to say, Treadlabs has my seal of approval. The next two brands are either very obscure, like you've never heard of them, or they're the only brands that you wear. They have a real cult following, but they're not exactly mainstream, at least not yet. Reason being, both of these brands make natural shaped shoes with wider toe boxes, which look kind of weird, at least compared to the shoes that we're all used to. But they make a lot of sense. Like, why shouldn't shoes be shaped like our feet? Shirts are shaped like torsos. Pants are shaped like legs. And yet we've all just agreed to shove our duck-shaped feet into these torpedo-shaped tubes? It doesn't make any sense. So this first brand, Altra, is much loved by road and trail runners as well as long-distance hikers. My father-in-law is probably one of their biggest fans. He's hiked the Appalachian Trail and the Arizona Trail wearing Altras. It took me a couple of tries to find a pair that I liked. These are the Experience Form in size 8. These are low drop, just 4 millimeters, and they have some stability built in. They're medium cushion according to Altra, but they feel pretty plush to me. They have that rocker shape that's so common these days where the toes kind of curve up, encouraging a forward propulsion. I find these to be very comfortable. I really like having more room in the toe box. After wearing shoes like these, going back to regular shoes with a very narrow toe box feels really restrictive. And I think these look fine. They're definitely some of the better looking Altras. This brand is not known for its styling, but these look okay to me. Topo Athletic is similar to Altra in that they make shoes shaped like human feet. Novel concept. So that means a roomier toe box, a tapered midfoot, and a low heel-to-toe drop. I first tried their Ultrafly 5, which is a cushion stability shoe. I liked the shape, but I found the arch support to be too aggressive. I reached out to this brand a few months ago. They generously agreed to send a couple of pairs. First up, their best-selling Phantom 4. This is a high-cushion, neutral running shoe. They're very comfy. They're shaped exactly like my foot, which is really refreshing. I love the kind of taller midfoot and the snug heel. Also, since all Topo shoes have a wider toe box, I don't need a wide width, so these are just an 8 regular. These actually don't look nearly as chunky as like the New Balances or the Hokas, but they feel just as roomy in all the right places. My only critique is the color. This is what they had available, but my preference would be for stone or natural. They also sent their brand new Flylight 6, which is more of a cross trainer. With a 3mm drop, these would be great for CrossFit or lifting. You could definitely run with these. They run a little bit long. Like for me, there's quite a bit of extra space in front of my toes. That's probably a good thing if you're going to use these for running because you want that extra space. For me, I could probably go down a half size. Anyway, I wanted to include both Altra and Topo because I appreciate both of these brands for trying to make shoes that are better for our feet. It can be a little weird at first to wear a shoe that has this natural shape with a wider toe box, but you get used to it really quickly. And I wouldn't be surprised if more and more people start wearing these kinds of shoes. So if you haven't tried these brands yet, give them a shot. Okay, quick recap of my favorites. Okay, after testing all of these shoes for the last few months, considering comfort and style, here are the ones that I find myself reaching for most often. The New Balance 860s, Asics 1130, Hoka Gaviota 5, Altra Experience Form, both pairs of sandals, the Treadlabs and the Bedrocks, and of course, my trusty arcade belts. Links to everything you saw in this video down below in the description and a pinned comment like always. Also, if you enjoy my videos, go check out my newsletter. I send it every week on Wednesdays, and it's chock full of product recommendations, insights. Basically, if you like the vibe of this channel, you're going to love the newsletter. Link below. That's it for today. I'm always on the lookout for other brands and shoes to try on, so if you have any suggestions, drop them below in the comment section. Thank you as always for watching, and until next time.